So let's start learning something very important, which is counting forwards and backwards. The idea is that the kids are going to move from counting very concrete objects, one banana and two apples, and they'll go to the abstract idea one, two, three, four, five, six, and they'll start to understand the progression of the natural numbers. So it's a big step, and let's start doing it. So the first idea would be that you actually take blocks, and I have some blocks over here, and I'm going to start counting. So this is going to be one block, okay? And then I can put in here, and these are going to be two blocks, right? And then I'll put in more blocks, and you can see these are going to be uh, three blocks. And then I can put in more blocks, and they'll be four blocks. Then I'm going to put in these blocks. They're going to be, so you can count 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and then I'm going to get another one, the fifth block. Then I'm going to get more blocks. It's getting to be a bit boring, but I'm trying to do it as quickly as I can. So I'm counting 4 blocks, 5 blocks, 6 blocks. Then the last one, then I'll have 7 blocks, I hope. 3, 4 blocks, 5 blocks, 6 blocks, and 7 blocks. And then I'll have 8 blocks and 9 blocks and 10 blocks. But every time you're getting the child to count the number of blocks. And then you sort of want to write down these numbers below, which is like the number 1 block, 2 blocks, and they're actually touching the blocks and feeling the 2 blocks. Then 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks, 6 blocks, and 7 blocks, right? And then you can see, and if I had more time, I'd do 8 blocks and 9 blocks and 10 blocks. So now, with these blocks in front, you can ask the child what comes next. And for example, if you show the child, here's maybe 4 blocks and 5 blocks, and what comes next? And then the child should say 6 blocks. And then maybe you can play around with some more objects, and then eventually what you want to get to is that you get rid of the visual aid, which is blocks, and you move to this abstract idea that when the child sees 4, 5, then and you ask them what's the next number, they're not counting now the number of blocks. Now we are testing whether the abstraction has been reasonably built, and we're trying to reinforce the abstraction. Then they should say, at this point, they should say 6 is the next number, right? And the way that we reinforce this idea is by using very concrete blocks to get them the idea that there's a progression of the natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But we start with concrete blocks and we start to move to more abstract numbers where the crutch of the blocks disappears. So please remember that the child, when they're doing it, she should also be counting backwards. So you can ask what is the previous number. So maybe you have, when you're counting, so let's say you say 7 blocks, 6 blocks, what comes before 6, and the child should see this and say, oh, 5 blocks. And then eventually the child wants to get to the stage when if you put in like numbers like 7, 6, and ask them what's the next number, so the child should be able to say that the next number is 5, and that's building that abstract idea that numbers form this infinite sequence. For them, it's a finite sequence right now, but they form that they can go from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they understand this beginnings of an abstract model of numbers. And please, with everything that we have done, please understand that we should always follow the idea of concrete. So first we want to deal with actual blocks. Then from concrete, we move to pictorial. So pictures are a great way to explain what is happening. and then eventually we want to get to the abstract. So this is a method that is common in all of Singapore mathematics, and this is what we should always be using. So whenever you're doing something, try to do it with concrete objects, then move to pictorial ideas, and then eventually you want to get this abstract idea across. We don't start with the abstract, so don't try to get children to just memorize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We should always follow the concrete pictorial abstract philosophy.